Anybody else ever bother to think that we assume so often that there are so many groups, shadow groups, those in public, those in private? Don't let's never forget the Time magazine quote, Shadow Cabal. All of these groups that we attribute to them that they have some sort of control beyond our understanding, control of events, control of the world of our understanding, and we often find ourselves not at any sort of comfort, knowing that there is some form of nefarious group that makes decisions for us with no interest in the regular working class, uh, for the American working class citizen. So I propose a new opinion or possibility. Angel Wings, White Dragon. This is an odd one. This has been inspired by some literature and a little bit of a movie, and it does have me considering some things that are a little deeper than I normally go. Prepare for a possible Alice down the rabbit hole kind of rant. Has it ever occurred to anybody that while we know for a fact that there are factions and groups in the government that maintain and pervert their control that they have over whatever it is they have, be it controlling, the currency or the stock market, or even orchestrating certain events. There's that. And then there's the more nefarious control that we know for a fact. Epstein Island and trafficking and all of the most deplorable aspects of humanity. But have you ever gone deep enough and thought of all of the possible groups that are not aligned and all the names that we know? What is it? Who are the two brothers? What are their names? I remember seeing them talking about how they were knighted. They're also exclusively hated. Um, no, I forget the Lindenbergs or something like that. Has it ever occurred that possibly when it comes to the most hypothetically unforeseen events in the world, for example, here, just to paint a picture, there's this movie on Netflix. Let me check the title. And it proposes the question. It's called Leave the World Behind. And there's just this one great scene with dialogue of a man that is in quite a spot of privilege and wealth, and he works with people that he can't name, and he talks about contractors and people that they have that fuck you money and they're so rich that you may know who they are or may not. Is it possible that if the shit truly hits the fan ever, hypothetically, that we'll discover nobody truly is in control? That if something catastrophic were to happen and it's everybody for themselves, it's only going to be the countrymen or women that are prepared, the preppers, the people that always expected the worst out of humanity and the government, the ones that build compounds or go underground. Has it ever occurred that when that shit hits the fan, whenever, however it manifests, there is no preparation, no matter how much control all of these little shady little fucking cabals or groups maintain and have. They might have little slices of the pie, for sure. But I think it's a fair assessment to say not one group nor a team of groups have the entire control of the grid of all the possibilities. If we all lost power, Wi-Fi, internet, if our satellites went off, if the worst possible outcomes were reality, who would be responsible for that? What if it was something, what if it was an accident? What if it was our own government? A true stupid accident when we have leaders like Biden. My own opinion, leaders like Biden are not trusted enough to be given control or say so over certain things. But what the fuck do I know? Uh, I'm I'm convinced that there's a threshold. There is a face of the government we're allowed to see. There's a reason why when I'm pretty sure when I think, for one, when I think of CIA, I don't think of, do we know any rock stars of the CIA from this decade alone? No, we don't celebrate the CIA in public. And it should be alarming that the FBI and mostly the CIA, to my knowledge, anybody correct me if I'm wrong, they're allowed to. It's legal, it's in legislation. They can, they do, and they will continue to feed us propaganda. That is their lot in life, is to keep us believing what they want us to believe. But I do believe that that only goes so far, and even they have a limit. So ultimately, I suppose the question is like, who has the most control? Who has the most say and or influence? I have a very interesting reoccurring debate with a friend of mine at work, which is almost becoming laughable because he gives me the same responses every time. I tell my friend, I have to make up a name because I got to give him a name. I see him every day. Hey, Bob, China owns us. No, they don't, Eli. We are more in debt to ourselves. We owe ourselves more. China doesn't. So I'm like, shit, man. Hey, Bob, what if China wants to cash in and we can't fucking pay out? No, it doesn't matter because it doesn't make sense. I asked him for evidence. I asked him to give me the research, the citations. He provided nothing with this kind of self-righteous fucking candor about him. He's got no answers and a nervous grin. And he seems to think because if it's our own government that owes us or the treasury, why don't we just forgive our debts? I know things don't work like that, but it's just stunning to me that he's not able nor willing to think beyond that and how dangerous it could be if China did call us out on how much we owe them, all the Chinese knockoffs and all the labor that's accumulated. We have Chinese manufacturing companies in our country that used to be a joke back in 2010. That used to be the term outsourcing was a joke. Now it's a reality, but we don't use it by that name. Fuyao is the third largest multi-billionaire manufacturing automotive glass plant that exists right here, where they hire and fly over Chinese management to train Americans to always be under Chinese management. That's a reality. And in the beginning, they didn't allow Chinese propaganda, but now it's there. You walk in and you see half of America and the other half is Xi Jinping. So I laugh at my buddy Bob. Bob, I'm gonna play this for you. I wish I could say your real name. I mean, I could say your first name, but that would just be dickish. And I'd love to hear you explain to me how you fucking think that China, a foreign country, is able to just send their production manufacturing companies here. And matter of fact, Fuyao was sent to Detroit, which used to be the hub and center of our automotive industry and vehicles and cars and all that. And they took over. They took over, and they are third, not in the country, in the world. They're the third largest producers of automotive glass in the motherfucking world. So I call out anybody and I beg anybody, please. I don't give a shit if you don't like me or if especially if you disagree. Like, just fucking say so. Leave a comment. I'll follow up in the future. Comment on a community post. Email me. Say something. Issue a fucking challenge. I want a stimulating conversation because by all means, ultimately, I just want to know I'm speaking to somebody who has no greater interest than talking about what the ultimate truth is, the inescapable truth, whether it fall in our favor or not. I don't want fluffy fucking pillow theories. I want to just talk business, talk turkey. I know I have a convoluted sense of what I believe in terms of all these very complex theories in the world that we live in. So I think one of the next lives again, adjusting my camera on the computer, another open panel, but I really am doing a kind of call out to anybody that sees fit to want to have this kind of conversation with me. And a quick update regarding my lady friend whose name I'm still protecting. I'm gonna share this with a little bit of shame. I told her, for one, she saw my comment on her Facebook page where I said, hey, anybody that is close to, you know, her name, please contact me. And nobody did. She messaged me today and said, you see how nobody responded to your comment? I have nobody. And she's referring to family and friends. I need to make clear I don't have her phone number and she doesn't have an active phone line. All she has is apparently access to the internet, and maybe I can call her through Facebook or something. I don't have her address and I can't make a wellness check. I just have her full name, first and last. It's probably enough, but I'm not gonna give up, and she's still doing what, everything I reported on. She is drinking. Somebody made a comment along the lines of she's in active addiction. Yeah, I suppose she is, but I mean, she believes that if she gets this medication, it will change things for the better, and it's a non-narcotic medication, and I can only do so much. I have to accept that. And I am afraid, I have to be honest. That live I did talking about her, even though I don't name her name and I mentioned certain things like, she went and posted about asking for money. She went and started posting more revealing pictures of herself and more Facebook My Story pictures. They're getting more and more revealing. And I am honestly nervous that she'll be insulted. She asked me for a link. I told her that I did a live stream about her. And she was like, "No way, LOL." I said, "No, yes, really." And she said, "Okay, send me the link." And she sent an emoji with the eyes rolling back in their skull. So I guess she's intrigued enough to listen to what I'm putting out there. But what good will that really do, you know? It'll satisfy her curiosity. I don't want her to think like we could all just, hey, set up a GoFundMe. She puts no other effort forward and we fixed her problems for her. I need to see more effort on her part, but she is truly surrendered, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna have to orchestrate some form of communication where I get to speak to her and not just type and text and shit. I don't want this girl to pass away. That is just for damn sure. I made it clear too many people too young on my watch have gone that way, and I don't want to allow that. Some things you have to accept are beyond our control, but while I have some sort of say, I'm going to do everything I can. And with that, I don't apologize often anymore because I've grown tired of doing so. But I will say I apologize for just ranting and just saying what I wanted to say. as I came onto this live stream and not, saying my shout outs and all that. I also want to say I miss very much doing lives from my computer. It's just the issue with my HDMI cable. It's very embarrassing. It goes off as it does. Otherwise, I promise I will. I just want to thank everybody that is here or that's here in the future. And I, I hope I inspired the inquiries that I've had. I hope I inspired some deep thinking and some inspirational thoughts, or somebody that really wants to have some of the conversations I'm inviting right here on a panel on this channel. And I appreciate every single one of you. With that, we'll see what happens. Got one more day of work tomorrow, about noon to 10 p.m., maybe a little later, and then I got 2 days off. I want to do something. I do have actual plans and a couple of friends to see, but I want to do something with the damn channel. And I know Stuck at Night is still going, or Not Funny, whatever it's called. I need to reach out to Josh. A lot I got to do. Anyway, everybody, good night. Shout outs will now come later. And please feel free to leave a comment, smash or tap that little thumbs up. It goes a long way. I don't monetize this fuck shit. Who the fuck gives a shit about getting a few pennies for every live? I know I'm no big deal on here. I'm just grateful I have a goddamn, pardon my French, a voice. Good night.